Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are here with our Total Wellness Tuesday episode, where we are going to be talking about the 6 plant flavonoids that extend life. Hopefully, you tuned in to our last Friday review, where we actually spoke about how eating these particular flavonoids can, believe it or not, offset many unhealthy lifestyle habits. And that's why, again, I'm a big believer in this 80-20 rule and understanding that we as humans are not always perfect, myself included in that bucket. So what we want to do is basically to just hedge our bets. Like, listen, every day of the week, we're not going to be perfect, but what if we could do something, anything that would offset some of our not so great choices? So again, I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule. I'm a big believer in what can we do that helps transform our body, our mind, our energy, but also extends our life as well. Because there's so many people out there right now, and I just see them with very well intentions, like great intentions, using not so great diets, like just really wild, far out there diets. I've already talked about these diets before, so I don't want to come down on anyone particular in the show. But what I'll say is this: if your diet does not contain carbohydrates and plant foods, it's probably not going to end well for you. Now, for some people, it'll be totally fine because their body is genetically amazing and they produce enough of what are called natural antioxidants that start to prevent and keep away a lot of the oxidative processes that happen as we age. There's a reason why the hair starts to fall out, the skin starts to wrinkle, the skin starts to sag, we get more inflammation in our body, we end up with cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer, the top 4 killers, the top 4 things that end life early. So that happens as an entropy, as an aging-based process. It's why, although it is happening today, we typically don't have autoimmune diseases as a teenager. I did. Many other people do as well. But there's also then a way that you're able to recover. And I did that as well. So the interesting thing is this, is that you can repair the body. The body can actually begin to be repaired at any age. That's the amazing thing. And if you start doing these things sooner, you can obviously reap the benefits for longer and longer. So what I want to share with you today is, again, it's all science-based. It's all based on current research and really things that I've been talking about for quite some time, is that the only diet that we know, because there's a lot of, well, it works for this person, but not this person, but the only diet that we do know that is able to prevent all of the top causes of mortality is a diet that's rich in brightly colored fruits and vegetables. And if you say, well, I don't like to do fruit, this, that, and the other thing, that's fine. Then use your vegetables. But it is the only diet that we're sure of that prevents all of the top causes of mortality. Like, it's undeniable. And if you're saying, well, I get joint pain and I get bloating and I get this when I eat vegetables or fruit, that's because you have a digestive dysfunction. You have H. pylori, you have SIBO, you have candida overgrowth, or you have parasites, or you have all 4 with leaky gut intestinal permeability. And it's not the food's fault. I just want to repeat that. I'm like the protector of vegetables, right? It's not the food's fault. It's not. And you can forget about a lot of what you heard about lectins and all these other things once you repair your gut. Lectins and salicylates and a lot of other things, they matter. Oxalates, they matter when you're not well. But then you get well, you repair your digestive system, your immune system can then start to go back to normal because you're not spilling out proteins and fats and lipopolysaccharides all day when you eat. Your immune system can then go back to normal, and then these things don't happen. So That is, I mean, again, you want to look into that. You can run a Candida metabolic and vitamins test. You can run a bacteria and parasite stool test. You can run an IgG food sensitivity test. You can do all those things. You can do them right at home. So if you go to our company, Equalife, you can find those labs. You can do them right at home anywhere in the world. And if you don't want to work with us, that's okay too. Doesn't make the information any less accurate. Like, you can always work with whoever you want to, but I just wanted to share that with you because if you are not including fruits and vegetables in your diet, I'm just telling you right now, be fine. It'll most likely be fine for a while, but not for a long while. So we want to start to ease into that now. Okay. The nice thing is too, even if you're following more of a low carb diet, you can still add in these 6 based plant flavonoids. So quick recap of last Friday's research. Hopefully you're tuning into my Friday reviews. I always go over at least, I go over a book review, a product review, and at least 2 research studies every single Friday. So let me give you the little excerpt. Although it's abundantly clear that fruits and veggies promote health, scientists are still unpacking all the reasons why. One of them may be flavonoids. Some people pronounce it flavonoids or bioflavonoids or bioflavonoids. All the same thing. They're anti-inflammatory compounds found widely in plants. A group of over 56,000 Danes who were followed for 23 years, those who consumed at least 500 milligrams of flavonoids per day had the lowest risk of dying. Flavonoids' apparent positive effect was strongest among smokers and heavy drinkers. It didn't compensate fully for these groups' higher mortality risk, but if you struggle to quit poor habits, consuming lots of flavonoid-rich foods such as apples, tea, or broccoli might offer protection. So what they showed was that people who had at least 500 milligrams per day had the lowest risk of dying, even in the highest mortality groups, doing things that we know are not good for you, like consuming more than, I don't even want to say 7, consuming more than 3 drinks or so of alcohol per week, or smoking, or being exposed to smoke, or like all of us, being exposed to all the environmental toxins around us. So let's dig right into it. What are these 6 flavonoids, right? Or what's a flavonoid in the first place? We kind of talked about that, but they're basically plant compounds found in plants. Think of that as vegetables or herbs. Also think of it as fruit. So produce in general. Now, so these are naturally occurring. We don't need to make them happen. I will give you a little tip, though, before I get into the 6, that when you eat a food and it has like that bitter taste to it, that can be because it's very high in polyphenols, part of this flavonoid family. So like when you get an olive oil and it kind of has a bite in the back of your throat, that is a high phenolic compound that's in there, right? High polyphenols or phenolic compound. So that's a good thing. You might not like the taste of it. That's okay. But I'm saying as you start to move in that direction, well, that bitterness, as in Ayurveda, I always share with that. My mentor, Dr. Pete, shared it with me, which she actually got it from her mentor, Dr. Vasant Lad. So it's just great. Like I love lineages, and it's like Dr. Lad, I came from Pune, I believe, in India, came to the U.S., was basically the first Ayurvedic doctor to come to the U.S. and really share the Ayurvedic medicine. And my mentor, Dr. Pete, studied directly under Dr. Lad and co-wrote his first 2 textbooks by translating his lectures at the university where he spoke. And then I was fortunate enough to learn under Dr. Pete. And then, of course, I went to India. I studied with Dr. Krishna, Dr. Moriarty, so many other great doctors there as well. So again, like super, I love that. I love that. I feel like I'm part of that Ayurvedic history, and then I'm just trying to pass it down then to the next generation as well. Hopefully I still have another 30, 40 years of teaching myself. But of course we need to always be training that next generation too. So, and then they'll train the next generation. It just goes on and on and on. So it's a beautiful thing. All right. So let's get into these flavonoids. So flavonoids break down into 6 categories. They're all flavonoids, but they have different names. So I want you to know that if you read these, that's still part of the flavonoid family. So flavonols is the first, and it's Flavonols. All right, flavonols. So these are really powerful, this group, and I want to share them with you. So I want to give you some examples. When you are consuming things like onions, right? Even some garlic in there, but mainly onions for this category. Onions are very high in flavonoids. So they're very high in this category of flavonols. Really, really important to look at that. Kale is another one. Grapes and red wine. Not white wine as much, but red wine, right? Because it has the skin. That's the big difference, right? Red wine has the skin, giving it that reddish color. So I'm not saying go overboard and consume your wine, but I'm saying there's still a lot of flavonoids in red wine. Tea. Tea is a big one for flavonols. Green tea, white teas, those are going to be high in flavonols. Peaches, and then all of your berries. Blackberries, super high in flavonols. You get your wild blueberries. Wild blueberries are like 13x regular blueberries, even organic blueberries. Wild blueberries are even higher in flavonols. Why would they be higher? They're predominantly skin, right? So a wild blueberry is tiny. Up here, I go to Maine quite often. I spend my time between Boston and Maine. It's a really nice juxtaposition. The city and then the country, the quiet, the ocean, beautiful, scenery, all those different things. But in Maine, where I think Maine is like one of the best places in the world for wild blueberries. So I'm fortunate to be able to take my daughters and we go wild blueberry picking. We don't do that all the time, but we do that at least once a summer. But we buy them at local farmers markets and they're fresh and they're so small and they're all skin, right? So that skin, of course, is a little bit inside, is where those flavonols are coming from. Why would blackberries be high in flavonols? Well, blackberries, if you think about it, they're all tiny little berries into one big berry. It's predominantly skin. Raspberries like that as well. Okay, so we've got that. Broccoli is one that's going to fall into a lot of different categories, but that's a big one. Scallions falls into that onion category, has allicin as one of those powerful ingredients. Tomatoes in there as well. Okay, so first category is flavonols. I'm going to give you what to do with these in just a moment, so I don't want you just to know the names. Flavin-3-ols is a subtype of flavonoids as well. This is where we start to get into our teas, okay? Oolong tea, green tea, black tea, white tea. These are all going to be great. You can even put Tulsi tea in there as well. These are going to be fantastic to get those flavin-3-ols. And again, there's some carryover. Apples will be in this category specifically. Blueberries falls back into it again. Strawberries. And then your dark chocolate. So milk chocolate, not so much. Over 70% dark chocolate, now we're talking. All right, so now we get all those antioxidants in dark chocolate. So should you eat dark chocolate every day? Maybe, maybe not. Like it's like, have you already met your body transformation goals? Have you already met your health goals? Do you do fine with a little bit of oxalates and lectins? Because if so, then those cacao beans, that chocolate could be fine for you. And you might have not a bar of chocolate a night, but you might have a couple squares. And that's going to get some flavonols and flavin-3-ols in there as well. You can include red wine in that category too. All right, now we get to flavones. Flavones is what's going to give some of the pigment, the color to these plants. Now, this is also where we get a little bit of that bitterness as well. So parsley, if you've ever had cilantro or parsley, you know that it has that bitter taste to it. Well, I can tell you this. Twice a week in our household, we do like a guacamole with a little bit of parsley in there or parsley as a topping. So we do a Taco Tuesday or a Taco Thursday. And so we'll do whatever we want, fish tacos or black bean tacos, enchiladas, whatever it might be. And my wife chops up parsley and we'll put parsley right on top. So I'm getting a good, I would say a heaping tablespoon or at least a couple heaping teaspoons of parsley twice a week. Really great as well. Celery's included with that, red peppers, peppermint, chamomile, a lot of herbal-based teas as well. So teas will fall into this flavone category too. And again, whenever you're talking about pigments or colors, put in those brightly colored peppers and brightly colored berries as well, okay? Berries and peppers can be really great. Now again, has to be, I'm going to talk about this in just a moment, tailored to you. I don't eat peppers. I don't do a lot of peppers. I do some hot sauces. There's no doubt about it. But the peppers themselves, because I don't do great with a lot of nightshades. So I just individualize it more for me. Do I do blueberries? Of course, by the handful. So the next one is flavones. You start to see a pattern here, right? We got that word flavonoid in there. So flavones, these are very powerful anti-inflammatory. So these have great, not just antioxidant capacity, but anti-inflammatory capacity. And they're mainly your citrus fruits. So I've talked about starting your day with lemon water, starting your day with lime water. I didn't invent that. Of course, it's been passed down for 6,000 years through Ayurvedic medicine. You get electrolytes in that, especially if you put a little bit of sea salt in there, Himalayan rock salt, Celtic sea salt, a little bit of lime. I like lime versus lemon, but you can do your lemon. And then another big one that people overlook, half a grapefruit a day. I mean, again, some people can't do grapefruit because they're on certain medications like statin drugs, et cetera. But a half a grapefruit a day, not only can it be great for cholesterol in general, antioxidant capacity, anti-inflammatory capacity, and weight loss, believe it or not. So, because there are specific compounds in grapefruit that help with all these things. Do I think you should go on the grapefruit diet? No, I don't. But grapefruit can be a great fruit that you're adding into your diet that could help with vitamin C, etc. So that's a really nice one. Isoflavones, this is one that's more of a mixed bag. It can be helpful for women post-menopause. It can be helpful for women with lower levels of estrogen. It can be helpful for some men with prostate-based issues. That's because this is mainly found in soy-based foods. So we need to be careful with this one, but it actually has been shown to be beneficial for post-menopausal women, some women with prostate issues, etc. That's because you're getting the isoflavones and you are getting a plant-based version of estrogen. So a phytoestrogen is what it's called, and it's not as toxic to the body as, let's say, a testosterone being converted to an estradiol. So the reason why that's important is because your cells have estrogen receptors, and if they pick up these isoflavone or these phytoestrogens instead of the more powerful toxic estrogen, then it could offset a lot of issues in the body. And then why would it be beneficial for women post-menopause? Well, their estrogen levels have gone down. So if we add in a little bit of soy, which would be from an organic, non-GMO sprouted tofu a couple times a week, then they could see benefit from that. Not a must, but just know that it's there. You get a little bit of isoflavones in fava beans and other forms of legumes and beans as well. All right, the last one is anthocyanins. Anthocyanins is often the one that I'm biggest about talking about, and that's because they're so easy to spot. Anything that gives a fruit or a vegetable its pigment, its color, is going to have anthocyanins. So easiest ones to think about are grapes and berries. Like, it's whatever has the richest, deepest color. I always tell people, listen, put your wild blueberries in your smoothie in the morning. Here's why. Wild blueberries, I've run tens of thousands of food sensitivity tests, tens of thousands. I never see anybody sensitive to blueberries. They also are probably the highest in most normal fruits, okay? Normal fruits that you would get, that have easy access to. And you can keep wild blueberries in your freezer so you're never out. And you're not gonna cook them. So they're still preserved when they're frozen, not as much when they're cooked, and you get all those benefits. But let's say that you're a mixed berry type of person. Okay, great. Organic strawberries, wild blackberries or organic blackberries, all those things count. And again, get, if you want, the real grapes, the seeded grapes with that dark skin on it matters as well too. So anthocyanins, easy, bright colors, bright colors. That's what you want to look for. So one thing that's often overlooked, though, with getting your flavonoids for the day is herbs. So right now, if you're saying, I don't know how I'm going to get all these things, you can add in a little bit of oregano when you're cooking, a little bit of cloves, a little bit of coriander, a little bit of whatever spice that you like. And these spices also are packed with antioxidants. Let me tell you why this matters so much. Because if you exercise, if you move your body, if you're on a diet, if you're not getting in all the calories that you need to, your body's going through a greater oxidative process, especially if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep a night. That means it's beginning to break down more than it rebuilds, or not as fast as it rebuilds. So what happens is we start to age at a faster rate. You can start to age at a faster rate in your teen years, 20s, 30s, 40s, or sometimes people say, like, all of a sudden I just started aging that much faster. Oftentimes it happens after beginning a big weight loss program where they're not watching their antioxidant antioxidant intake. They're not doing it in a healthy way. Their eyes start to get really sunken in. They start to get more fine lines and wrinkles on the face. I think those wrinkles are eventually inevitable, but they can be lessened to a great degree through your food intake. So what I recommend is 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That has never changed for me. That's because that's what the science shows, and it's not difficult. Let me share with you how I do it. Cup of berries in my smoothie in the morning, really easy. I'm also an apple a day kind of guy, so I do an apple. I like to eat my apple rather than throw it in my smoothie, but I'm not against that. So that's easy. I've got 2 fruit or down, no problem. Sometimes it's a little bit extra berries. Sometimes I put in a little bit of banana. Bananas have, believe it or not, flavonoids as well. Some people won't want to do the banana. I get it because they're trying to lose weight. Perfect. No problem at all. Berries are low glycemic. Stick with the berries. Now, the rest of the day, 3 cups of vegetables at lunch, 3 cups of vegetables at dinner. What did I do? Well, I got 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. Now I'm at 6. And I got 2 in the first half of my day. Now I'm at 8. I get about 8 cups of fruits and vegetables every day. 6 from veggies, 2 from fruit. It works great for my body. Maybe you're on a specific plan, like the first 21 days of our Fatlocity plan, and you're doing all vegetables. That's okay. You can do greens in your smoothie. Now, let's say that you just can't digest that right now, because a lot of people can't. You need to work up to that. I didn't used to be able to digest 3 cups of vegetables at lunch and 3 cups at dinner. Now, keep in mind, root vegetables count. Purple sweet potatoes are loaded with anthocyanins. So that can be 1 cup of my veggies as well. But again, you can do it however you want, but I'm getting 3 cups. If you're looking to go lower starch, well, you do more vegetables. Your broccolis, your cooked kale, all those things are great. Okay, so we have that. What else can you do? Every day as a fail-safe, I take my 500 milligrams a day of my anthocyanins, of my flavonols. So remember, the study specifically stated 56,000 people. This is a big study. Over 23 years, 500 milligrams of flavonoids was the factor. I take something called full-spectrum vitamin C. Very simple. I formulated this to be whole food vitamin C as well as orthomolecular vitamin C. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this. I want to give you an example because you might have a favorite product of your own, and I'm okay with that. Remember, my job is to teach. You get to choose however you want to live your life. I take 2 capsules a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner, full spectrum vitamin C. Let me tell you why. You're getting 400 milligrams a day of your flavonoids. It's in the form of quercetin and rutin and other flavonoids in that. So it's nice. You get quercetin, you get the whole spectrum, because quercetin for me helps with my mast cells and all those other issues, right? So I like that. It keeps my body balanced. That's why I do it. I'm getting 400. I'm definitely getting at least 100 now with the rest of those 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't even need to count. But the other thing that I do is 1 scoop a day of my daily fruit and vegetable blend. It's 22 organic fruits, vegetables, and superfoods. And now I know I'm well over that limit. I don't like to go overboard, but I do those 2 things, and then I don't have to worry about, oh, did I get 8? Did I get 9? Did I only get 6 today? Because I know that I'm covered. So again, I believe in whole food first, because you get all the other great nutrients and enzymes with these 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. Let's not overlook that. But I don't want to discount the fact that these flavonoids matter. So if you're on a keto or low carb, you might want to just at least do 1 scoop of the daily fruit and vegetable blend and then 2 capsules a day of the full spectrum vitamin C. But again, that's always your choice. I can't link to them, believe it or not, from a podcast because I mentioned the word cancer, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. Those are diseases, and I also mentioned supplements. And the FDA likes to think that, well, if I mention the supplements, that means that I'm providing a cure for these things. I'm not. What I'm talking about is allowing your body to naturally heal, allowing your body to naturally not get those things, because you're giving it the nutrients it needs to do its own job. But you can find these products at EQUI.LIFE. That's equa.life. Always your choice, but I want to share with you exactly what I do and what I do in my private practice. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into the show today. Please do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for joining me here today on the Cabral Concept Podcast. Real pleasure to be able to speak with you on our daily show. What I want to do right now is share with you the listener-only and community-only offer that we have going on over at Equilife right now. It is a timely offer for Valentine's Day where we are bundling our best-selling daily nutritional support shake in chocolate along with our advanced collagen support. The reason why that this is a great deal is because we are taking $40 off those 2 daily nutritional support shakes combined with the advanced collagen. So you are getting all 3 of those for $99, and that is going to save you $40 while supplies last this week only. 2 chocolate daily nutritional support combined with an advanced collagen support and 2 industry-leading products for just $99. Check it out while supplies last over at equa.life. That is EQUI.LIFE. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the day.